Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we are diving deep into one of the most, let's be honest, misunderstood firearms out there, the .410 shotgun. You know, a lot of people write it off as just a beginner's gun, but the modern .410 is evolving in ways that are gonna blow your mind. So let's get into it. So at its heart, the appeal of the 410 is pretty simple. It is just plain easy to handle. And that makes it a fantastic choice, not just for new shooters, but really for anyone who wants a capable firearm without the, punishing recoil of its bigger brothers. But hey, don't let that easygoing nature fool you into thinking it's weak. It's so easy to think of the 410 as just a little wimpy 12 gauge, but that's really missing the point. They're just different tools for different jobs. While the 12 gauge is all about that brute force, that raw power, the 410, it's about precision and control. And that makes it a fantastic option for anyone who's sensitive to recoil. And as we're about to see, it is far, far from weak. To give you a real-world idea of its power, just chew on this for a second. When you load a .410 up with slugs, it can deliver nearly twice the muzzle energy of a standard .357 Magnum. Yeah, you heard that right. So let's be crystal clear, this is not a toy. It's a serious cartridge packed into a surprisingly light package. All right, let's kick things off with our first category, the Utilitarians. These are your no-frills, get-the-job-done shotguns. We're talking about guns designed for survival kits, for backpacks, situations where simplicity and being easy to carry are absolutely everything. And our first example is, well, a perfect one, the Rossi Tuffy. This little single-shot break action is pretty much the definition of a modern utility gun. It's stripped down to the bare essentials, but it's still packed with some really smart features. The very first thing you're gonna notice is its weight, or I guess the lack of it. Coming in at just under 3 pounds, it is incredibly light, and that's all thanks to its polymer construction, which makes it a breeze to carry all day long without getting worn out. But the smart design definitely doesn't end with its weight. It's a takedown model, which means it breaks apart for super compact storage, and that's a huge deal for fitting it into a hiking pack or a vehicle survival kit. And that thumbhole stock, it's not just for looks, it actually holds 8 extra shells right there where you need them. For an MSRP of about 187 bucks, that's a whole lot of practical features packed into one affordable gun. But okay, what if one shot just isn't gonna cut it? Well, that's where something like the Solon Arms SR410 comes into play. As you can see here, you're trading a little bit of weight for a big jump in capacity. We're going from 1 shot to 5. It's another awesome packable option, just with a totally different take on what utility means. Now, let's move on to our second category, the modern classics. This is where timeless designs, like the iconic lever action, are getting a full 21st century makeover with features that just dramatically expand what they can do. It's old school cool meets new school rules. And honestly, there's no better example of this than the Henry X model. It takes the absolute soul of a classic all-steel Henry lever gun and fuses it with a kind of tactical modularity that so many of us want these days. So on one hand, you have everything that makes a Henry, well, a Henry. You've got a tough-as-nails all-steel receiver, that famously buttery smooth action, and it comes drilled and tapped, all ready for you to mount an optic for some serious slug gun accuracy. This is the heritage part of the equation, right? But here's where it gets really interesting. Instead of classic wood, you get this super durable, weather-resistant polymer furniture. And with Emma-lock slots and a Picatinny rail section, you can customize it with lights, lasers, whatever accessories you need. It completely transforms it from a classic hunting gun into a really capable, modern defensive tool. Speaking of Henry lever actions, let's look at one of the most unique firearms on the market today. The Henry Axe. This thing takes the whole lever action concept and basically shrinks it down into this compact, stockless format. It's something else. This quote right here just nails the whole spirit of the Henry Axe. Is it the most practical firearm for every single scenario? Probably not. But is it an absolute blast to shoot? Oh yeah. And its compact size makes it surprisingly easy to handle in tight spaces. So if the Henry Axe is all about having fun, then the Hutchek LVRTX is all about business. It takes that same lever action DNA and wraps it in a tactical aluminum chassis, complete with rails and M-lock slots for total customization. It really just goes to show you how incredibly versatile this classic platform can be. Okay, that brings us to our final category, and it's a big one, the tactical tools. These are .410 shotguns that have been designed from the ground up with defensive use as their #1 mission. And we're kicking this off with a real heavy hitter in the capacity department, the Kel-Tec KSG 410. It's a bullpup pump action, which basically means the action is way back behind the trigger. This design lets you have a longer barrel in a really short, easy-to-handle package, so you get better velocity without giving up maneuverability.
But here is the headline, the real showstopper, 15 rounds. Yeah, thanks to its dual magazine tubes, you can load up 14 shells plus 1 in the chamber. That is a massive, and I mean massive amount of firepower, especially for a shotgun this compact and light.
And that dual tube system also gives you some incredible tactical flexibility. You could, for instance, load one tube with birdshot for smaller threats, and the other tube with slugs for serious defensive situations. A quick flip of a lever lets you switch between them instantly. It's an absolute game changer. All right, next up, for the millions and millions of people who are already super proficient with the AR-15, America's most popular rifle platform, there's the AXA T14. This is a magazine-fed, semi-automatic .410 shotgun that's built to feel instantly familiar. And that, right there, is its biggest selling point. This safety, the charging handle, the mag release. It all works just like an AR-15. And in a high-stress defensive situation, you don't want to be thinking about how your gun works. You want to rely on pure muscle memory. For anyone who's used an AR-2, there is practically zero new training required. So to kind of round out our tactical options, let's bring in the Taurus Judge Home Defender. As you can see, each of these guns has its own special trick. The Kel-Tec is all about that massive capacity. The AXA T14 is built for that AR-style familiarity. And the Judge, well, it shines in a totally different area. Its rifle barrel gives it amazing accuracy with 45 Colt ammo, stretching its effective range way beyond a typical shotgun.
So as you can see, the .410 is so much more than a one-trick pony. The real key is to figure out the right tool for your specific needs, right? Are you looking for that minimalist survival gun, that modernized classic, or a dedicated high-capacity home defense tool? I mean, from minimalist survival tools all the way to advanced tactical weapons, the .410 has shown it's incredibly adaptable. It really makes you wonder, what's the next big step? What's the next evolution for this small but seriously mighty shell? Thanks for hanging out with me today.